In about 4 weeks, I turned 25, and I've been thinking a lot about this new chapter of my life and what it means for me. First of all, I do not fear turning 25, and I don't regret anything about my life, but I have this sense that it went pretty fast. I remember when I was 17, graduating school, it's like 17, 18, and just like that, I'm 25, almost. But also, now thinking about this age, I really was reminiscing a lot about the past, what I did with my life, and how happy and grateful I am for everything that happened. I feel like with 25, it's the first point where you really got a glimpse into adulthood and a glimpse what life after being a teenager really looks like. It's probably the time where you made your first experiences moving out of your parents' house. Maybe you got your first job, maybe you finished university. So I think it's a really good time to reflect about what happened in the last 10 years. Personally, what I can say is that I changed so much from being a teenager to being 25. I feel like I was a little bit of an insecure and scared teenager, and I overcame that in the last years. And I feel like this is an experience that many people can share, because when you're in school, you're kind of always in school, like as a teenager, right? So you never really have to confront yourself with two uncomfortable situations. They are always a little bit easy compared to the real world. But once you finish school, that's when the real struggle starts. And I feel like when you're thrown into that struggle, you begin to develop further and become a much stronger and confident person. So my path looked like this: that by the age of 21, I started studying. So a little bit later than most people, maybe. And when I started studying, I left my hometown for the first time. And I moved to the Netherlands. And there I had such an interesting and exciting journey, because I learned Dutch. I had to live on my own. I had to find jobs to even finance my studies. All of it was just really difficult for me, but also so much more satisfying and exciting than my life before. So this is what I really found. Like, once you start adulthood, it will be much more difficult time, but at the same time, it's a much happier time as well, because you have the control to do whatever you want. Of course, it's difficult, but for example, you can save up, you can find a job, you can make good choices, and you can set yourself up for success. What I'm really proud of is that I moved out of my parents' house. I was able to find good student jobs where I could pay for my studies, and I was able to travel quite a bit. When I was 22, I traveled to Canada for a couple of weeks, which I really enjoyed. I also traveled to Israel 1 year later, and eventually I traveled to Mexico for 6 months. So all of this really impacted me a lot. And also moving out impacted me a lot. This is why I would absolutely encourage anyone who's thinking about it and who has the opportunity to move out of their parents' house. And also to go travel somewhere, like even if you have no money, you should travel, because even it's not even that expensive. You can travel around being broke fairly well, like I did this all my life, and you will make crazy experiences that will shape you forever. And this is really what I've been thinking about in the last couple of weeks, about me turning 25 and all of the things that I learned. And the most important thing, maybe, that I learned was that life is not just gonna happen, and that people are not just gonna give you what you want or help you achieve your dream. You have to make everything in this life happen. I feel like a lot of times I just waited for my dream to come true, but without putting any work in. And I was just waiting and waiting, and my life didn't change, and I kept being unhappy. But what I realized is that you have to take some action to really make it happen. And I feel like this sense, most people realize this when they turn 25, 26, 27, at this age, because you make the experience that if you wait, nothing's gonna happen. Like if you wait with talking to your crush, she's just gonna find another boy and another boyfriend. Or if you wait to apply for a job, someone else is gonna get the job. If you wait to go travel, someone else is gonna travel. So a lot of this waiting, it really led me nowhere. But the second way I put real effort in, like something happened in my life. And a lot of the times I didn't even achieve my goal, but I got somewhere else, which was cool too, and a cool experience, which wasn't my goal, but it was something interesting as well. So what I could tell everyone that I learned from my time of being 25, or almost being 25, is that you should really put in some action to do something about your dreams, and eventually your dream or a slight variation of your dream can become reality. So don't waste your life waiting for things to change, and go out there and do it. The second thing that I learned from my almost 25 years of age is that you really need people around you, good and supporting people, because these people will set you up for your future, for your career, and for your happiness. I have gotten the best opportunities just because I was talking to random people on an event, I was talking to friends of my friends, and I was just out there interacting with people. And I would have not been able to finish my studies or go abroad to Mexico if I didn't ask people for advice or talk with people in general. So this is something that I really learned, because before, when I was 18, 19, I kind of was an isolated boy, and I would just not interact with a lot of people. And my life was really shitty back then. And now I just realized there are so many opportunities that will come up if you go out and speak to people. Whether it is about dating, whether it is about your career, whether it is about traveling. Because people even give you ideas that you didn't have before, and these ideas can shape you forever. For instance, let's say you are on a house party and you're talking to someone, and he tells you about this cool opportunity, this cool program of the European Union to go for 8 months to Australia to volunteer with the native people of Australia, for instance. Like that, this idea you would have never heard about, or this opportunity you would have never heard about if you didn't interact with this person socially. And let's say then you pursue this, you apply, you get in, you go there, and it changes your life. So this is something that I was thinking about, that just asking people about themselves, just asking people about their life, it will elevate your life enormously. And in this life, you cannot have success, you cannot win, you cannot be happy without other people. So, this is why personally I prioritize social relationships so much. I try to always keep in touch with my friends. I try to always have a good relationship with my girlfriend, just because I know these relationships, they are the most important in this life. Completely alone, this life is absolutely worthless and absolutely boring. All in all, I can say that it is terrifying to get older, and maybe it's even terrifying to turn 25. But personally, I can say that I do not regret anything, because I tried to do some things, I failed, I traveled a bit, and I made some experiences. So, in the end, I'm absolutely grateful. If I had wasted my life, like when I was 19, just staying in my room depressed, doing nothing with my life, and doing that for the last 6 years, I would have been absolutely miserable right now, because I would think, oh, I regret that I didn't try anything, you know? But looking back, I'm so grateful for everything, and I'm looking forward to even getting older, because I know that I can learn so much in this life, and this life is such a gift. And there are some people, even my age, that were born in 2000, that are not alive anymore. Some people that I knew, that something happened, drugs or a car accident, and unfortunately they do not have the privilege to experience this gift of life anymore. So I will always be grateful to have the opportunity to get older, to make more experiences, and to enjoy my life.